All right, well, it is weekend number 4. We have been doing this over the last month, and we are finally onto the stage where we can let our creativity shine. We are not going to be doing a crazy intense aquascape for today. Mainly, we're focusing on the giant wood pieces and some lava rocks to create that depth and just the natural look of it all, focusing on as much swim space as we can for our big fish. Because eventually we got some severums and some geophagus and ornate bashirs that are going to get massive. So we want to make sure they have all the swim space they need, and we have enough viewing space to really see them. So I want to give them some areas to hide, but I definitely don't want to make it a tank to where they're always hiding, and whenever I have friends and family over, they can't really see them. So for today's plan, we're going to clean up the tank. As you can see, we are still a little dirty from the cocoa core day. We let all that cure just to give it as much time as it needed. We're gonna get the vacuum out. We're gonna vacuum up all that. We're gonna vacuum out the potted plant holders. And then after that, we're going to take our big wood pieces, and just so you guys can see, these are not just little wood pieces. These are about 4 foot tall wood pieces for the tank. We wanna have a big piece of them sticking out of the water to give us that depth and just give us more spaces for planting. Once we get these into the positions, we're going to silicone the feet of them to the glass so that these don't float right up when we fill it up. And then after we do that, we're gonna try to position our lights on, make sure they fit in the spaces that are needed them to be. And then we're gonna grab 300 pounds of sand, dump that into the tank, flatten it out, and then we're gonna place some rocks. My goal with the rocks is to have these lava rocks act as decoration, but also act as a key place for beneficial bacteria to harbor and colonize. Our sump has a decent place for biological material, but I'm thinking these lava rocks are really gonna help hold a lot of beneficial bacteria for the tank. And plus, I'm just a huge fan of lava rocks. I feel like they have a lot of character and they look really good and they're really cheap to get. So I'm just gonna set the camera on the tripod and let it roll. We don't have Max today, but you got Kyle and I, and we're gonna have a good time scaping this tank. Let's crack on into it. We can just go right into the intro right now, right?
What's going on?
What's going on here? Well, a lot has happened over the past 2 weekends. Kyle and I were able to get the hardscape finalized, which looks amazing. And something we were able to find a solution for was I was worried of these huge pieces of wood getting not waterlogged, and when we filled it, them just floating up to the top. But what we were able to do is before we laid the sand down, we siliconed all the feet to the glass. So these pieces of wood are in there. I mean, they're not moving, they're not going anywhere. So hopefully they'll stay put and not disrupt the scape. But what we had to get some work done on was our irrigation system. And what Kyle was able to craft up out of his own brain, hi, I'm Kyle, put that scene in there.
Hi, I'm Kyle.
Was to create this amazing little PVC pipe that's connected to a submersible pump in our sump area down here. So if you can see the big white pump in the left side, that's gonna run our main line, and then the black AI Axis 90 is gonna be running our plant wall over there. And those are gonna feed both of the irrigation lines, and each one of these little lines is gonna be able to run to all of our planting potted zones, which is an incredible idea. I love how it looks. And at first you might be thinking, man, that's gonna look kind of wonky. But what Kyle and I are thinking about is with all the vines we have and just all the plant mass, we're gonna be able to just put plants right here. And these little lines might be able to hold some plants. You know, a big plant might be coming out here. It might have a leaf that covers it. So over time, you're just gonna let it grow into a little jungle and it will consume it all. But for today, I just wanted to have a chill, fun day for finishing this project. We're gonna be unplanting and unrooting all of our plants, putting them on the wall, and hey, we're gonna get our first fill up today. So I'm so excited to show you. Let's dive right in. And what we're gonna be able to do is, if the camera will focus, if we took these little rubberized paper clips, and what you can do is with the plants and the water line, you can just take it and these little tiny paper clips just stick right into the cocoa core, and it'll be able to hold the lines wherever we want them. Obviously that's not where that line's going, but it's gonna make it so we can make these lines work with us and kind of be out of the way. We're gonna still see some of them. Like I said earlier, once the plants grow in, it's gonna be a mini jungle, and I doubt we're even gonna be able to see some of these wood pieces. So let's get the little razor blade out, figure out where these lines go best, and we're gonna start filling the tank so we can not only, save us 3 hours of fill time, but once the water's in there, we're gonna be able to test our lines and the plants will be able to get water immediately. So let's crack into it. All right, now it's time to get planting. We got all of our drip lines ran and fitted. We're gonna have to make one little ace trip to get a couple extra things. But while we're doing that, I am going to start prepping all of our plants. And this is a very crucial part. If you're adding house plants to your aquarium or anything around water, you really wanna get all the soil washed off the roots. So we're gonna show you on camera, but you wanna do your best to spray all of the little roots to get the fertilizer and the soil off. Because if that makes contact with our water, not only is it gonna cloud it up, but it's gonna leave a lot of excess nutrients just to let algae go crazy. So always spend an extra 10 to 15 minutes ensuring all of that soil's off. Once we have all of our plants laid out on the ground here, we're gonna get them fitted and placed. And honestly, I have no idea where any of these are gonna go. We're just gonna have fun with them, feel them out, see where they look good, and then we're gonna fill it up with water and turn everything on. So let's get into it. All right, so right now we just finished up getting through some of the plants, getting that soil off, and we realized just how long this takes to fill up. So we just want to know, we have a short window. Once the plants get in there, we want to make sure they get water as soon as they can. So we want to start filling the tank now. So we're gonna kind of kill two birds with one stone, start filling the tank while we finish up getting the plants ready. And by the time we have the plants set, we should be filled up and we can be able to turn on our irrigation system and see how it works. Once we got all of our sand and hardscape finalized, I always use a paper towel when first filling up a new aquarium. This is especially helpful because the water won't penetrate the sand and stir up all the dust. It just makes it an easy filling process. And it looked so cool slowly filling up. I was getting so excited watching water go into this tank for the very first time. While it was filling, we were messing around with some plants, making sure all of their soil was off. I always love messing around with some plants. It's a great time. And we had a lot to unpot and unsoil. We just started laying them out on the table so that when we started the planting process, it was a breeze. Well, it's already been like, 35 minutes of filling on full blast on your garden hose on full, and we are a quarter of the way full. We're getting there. But something I just am admiring right now is how cool the wood pieces look with the water on them. You just see all the color gradation on it. I don't know if that's the right word, but that's what I'm gonna go with.
The gradient.
Gradient, yeah, the gradient. The wood gradient, that gradient, I love it. You're the pro.
All right. So we're gonna put a little bit in each one.
Yeah, I think the only one that doesn't have a pot is the very, very top one.
No pot up here?
Yeah, that one's just a hole.
Pocket?
Yeah.
All right.
Cool. That was perfect, dude. Yeah, thanks, man, for later.
Yeah, dude. All right, and then I guess we'll pull this out for now.
So yeah, what we're doing and what you're seeing right now is we're taking this leca, which is a lightweight expanded clay aggregate. That's why we call it leca. It's just an inert pebble that is just basically there to provide, support for your roots and give it something for the roots to expand and grow into, and overall just make it more stable. So that's what we're doing here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 actual physical potted areas, and then the other areas on the wall, those are just kind of divots created for plants to grow into. So those don't really need the leca, they just need water. Like it?
Yeah. I totally just dropped a pin in there, so I'm gonna have to grab it.
Oh, that's fine.
It's going there.
First plant's going in. We're gonna put this nice syngonium right here, right in the middle one. And how we're gonna kind of utilize all of our vining plants is each pot is gonna have a showpiece plant, and then we're gonna take random assorted vines that we have here, and we're gonna put them at the front of there so that they can either grow downwards or we can vine them upwards and out and about. So let's get that first plant in there. Woo! If you can tell, I'm a little excited today, but. Boom. All right, so I am really good at peace lilies, and probably out of this entire project, without Kyle's help, I would have a very hard time finding where these plants go. But this peace lily, I've been eyeballing a spot for it, and I think it's gonna fit perfectly right on this second branch. It has a nice flat area and a nice little opening right here. So we're just gonna see if we can get it snugged in here. I mean, I think it was almost meant to be like that. And over time, these roots will just keep growing down and down, and it'll look amazing. Can't wait. And it kind of hides some of this right here too. Takes some of these black lines away. And over time, this peace lily, guys, is going to get huge, especially with it being in the water with all these plant lights on it. I could easily see it getting this tall maybe in like 2 to 3 months. So that'll be amazing. And look what Kyle's got going on over there. So this one is actually from my tank, Daphne's tank in my office. You guys don't know this yet, but we're gonna be making some massive changes in that room. So I was short a bigger peace lily like that to match on the other side. So I just went and grabbed this from Daphne's tank. It already has a bunch of water roots in it. So this one should easily be able to fit over there. But yeah, I think this one looks so good. And you can kind of see how much more healthy this one is compared to the other peace lily that's kind of been, it's been through a lot. It's been through shipping, and it's been through us disturbing its root, and it's been through me trying to convert it to water growth. But this one is amazing. We're gonna see if we can find a spot for it over there. Hi, Kyle.
Hey, man.
Hey, man. All right, so it fits there, but it wants to lean a little bit. So if you see when I let go, it leans like that. But what we can do is we can get some twine, and from the base right here, we can tie it to this big log that it's sitting behind, and that should give it the support that it needs. So let me grab some of that. Kyle, would you be able to tie this knot, and I'll hold the plant up?
Yeah.
I'm thinking of just tying it to the back of this.
Okay.
Because I want this to sit.
So you want me to kind of come in under here and tie it around that way?
Yeah, just like right kind of where my hand is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How tight does it need to be? And then I'm just going to put this on top of it. And then I've been taking these bigger or even the shorter U's, just bringing a few over with me, pinning it up.
So yeah, when you were saying it was going to fill up fast, it kind of fills up fast.
Yeah.
Right now, we're getting prepped to turn everything on, and as you can tell, the top of the water is covered in coco coir. That's just from the excess getting knocked off the wall. We were anticipating that, but for the first couple fill-ups, I do not want that to get in here. That coco coir will be a menace in these filter socks. So what I'm gonna do for the first couple days until all that coco coir is netted out and just done falling in there, I'm just gonna run the sump without the 2 filter socks. It's gonna be a little bit loud without them in there, but I'm not gonna have to worry about getting these just destroyed before the tank actually starts cycling. So just taking these out. Ooh, it's starting. Oh my God, there it goes.
Wait, really?
I just want to watch this. I just can't believe this is 5 weeks of work just coming to an end. It's crazy. Oh. So that one over there,
Which one's taller?
I think that one is. Let's check. This one's more like splayed out. This one has much bigger leaves.
Let's save the bigger leaf one for the lower one.
for the lower one on the right and then put this one on the left? Cool. We're putting this one on the left. If you guys haven't already, this is an Alocasia Regal Shield, and I just discovered this plant for this project, and I feel like it is one of the most beautiful plants. If you look on the underside, just the veins that you can see and all the textures are just incredible. So yeah, we're gonna put these, we're gonna have 2 on either side, and just like Kyle was saying, we're gonna save the bigger one for the right side because it's lower on the wall, so you'll be able to see it better than it's sticking above the wall, so it'll be in the viewing zone. Kyle.
Take one at a time. I'll take the bigger one.
Yeah, that's the big boy for sure. Hands down, one of my favorite plants we put on this wall was this Alocasia Regal Shield. We didn't know how well it would take to the wall. How we put it in the pot was we surrounded it with sphagnum moss and we ran one of our drip lines to it to ensure that the roots would stay nice and moist. And just like that, we were almost halfway done. You just want to turn, let's just turn on the main return pump, finish planting, and then we'll turn the plant pump on. Yeah. Cool, all right. Well, we are finally at the moment where it is filled up and we can turn on our main return pump, and fingers crossed it goes as planned. So let's get it plugged in. Maybe. Oh, I turned on the heaters. That was the wrong one.
Leave that in there.
Well, yeah, leave that in there. I like the honesty, baby. There we go. That's it. Look at that ring it shot out. Did you see that? Tell me you got that on camera.
I think I got the
Fucking did a perfect O-ring. Let's do Syngonium and a spider plant. Cool. I think that would look cool.
Middle?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
You think those 2 colors will accent each other, or they're too similar?
No, it'll be good.
Okay. I'll go get this ready. This is the street name is shingle plant.
It's Monstera dubia.
But it's a Monstera dubius. Dubii.
Dubia.
Yeah, dubia, but it'd be looking dubious. Once we got all the major plants out of the way and planted, started filling up the wall with a bunch of vining plants. This one right here just fit perfectly in this position, and Kyle pinned it up to the wall and the roots go in the water. Yeah. Could you hand me a black little clippy?
Do you need a big one or a small one?
Couple big ones.
Big ones? Make more big ones.
Boom. Thank you. One of them just did it perfectly, okay. Zeke, shut your mouth hole. What are we doing right now? Is this product update video, brother?
Yeah, what are we doing?
What are we doing right now? Right now we're watching Harry Potter and holding plants up on the wall while we make some more plant holders. As you can see, it is turning into a jungle very fast. And the one thing we've utilized is some sphagnum moss and the clips to add areas that we don't have water supplying to. So what I can do is, every 2 to 3 days I can come through with a plant spray bottle and just spray down the areas where the sphagnum moss is, just so that really allowed us to fill out the entire wall with our bigger plants having the direct water line. But other than that, if you take a step back, I think this thing is looking like a little jungle. I love it. All right, moment of truth. We are gonna turn on the plant pump just so you can see the plumbing that we did here.
We're using an Axis 90 from Aqua Illumination. And if you look down in there, the pump that's to the right, that's gonna return all the way up the top. And we can come around the back here to give you the full view. But these tubings right here, the clear tubing, those are going all the way up to the wall, and those are going into those manifolds that Kyle made us that we conveniently covered with the Spanish moss. And then those are gonna deliver water, hopefully in a trickle to our little potted area plants. But you know, my first concern is if the pump is gonna be strong enough to get it all the way up this wall. I believe it will be. It had a max head height of about, I think 12 feet. So this is only about 7 feet. And yeah, I guess without further ado, let's plug that bad boy in. I don't even know where to look to see if we'll see water coming out, but we're plugging her in. All right, boys. Let's see.
You might have to click the controller. It's feeding.
Is it?
Feeding. Wow, it went so evenly. It hit both the 90s at the same time.
You're kidding.
No. No, it's about to start dribbling.
Bro.
Got water on the lights.
Oh. Water on the lights, yeah. They're waterproof though. So we have to cap these two over here. Well, it freaking works. We have water going to everywhere that we need it to go. And we've even found spots where the water is making its way that we didn't expect it, which is pretty cool. But we've reached our first problem. If you come up here, if you notice in certain spots, the water is collecting on some of the wood pieces and drip line. Let me get this plant out of the way. There we go, is that better? Mm-hmm. So now you can see how the water is collecting and it's draining out of the pots like we want it to, but what's happening is it's collecting on some of the lines and some of the wood pieces and it's piling up on the light. Now, aquarium lights are meant to be water resistant, but they're not waterproof. So we want to make sure we fix this up pretty quick because right now it's totally fine to have some water splashing on them. But if it was 24/7, they were just covered in water, they would short circuit very fast and we'd be out some very nice, expensive blade lights. So right now, the fix that Kyle has thought of is taking some long screwdrivers and kind of relieving some water pressure where we know they're coming out of the pots. So we initially drilled holes into our spray foam, but then right after that, we siliconed the wall and we were pretty much thinking that when we siliconed it, it kind of covered up some of those drill points. So we're gonna get in here and you'll see us kind of taking the screwdrivers and poking out some extra drain holes to hopefully relieve the pressure and get it to drain in the areas we want it to. Brother.
I don't think it's going to come pouring out of there. That would be cool though.
All right, well, as you can see, our drip wall and plants and water is in the tank and it is looking so good. I just can't get over, we pulled it off. You know, thank you to Kyle for helping out. His manifolds, custom manifolds, worked perfectly. All we had to do, as you just saw, is punch some drainage holes, but that ain't no thing. Right now, I'm probably gonna take the next 3 hours to just kind of net out all the loose coco core. We still have a whole bunch of plants to put up on the plant wall. I have some Spanish moss to fill into areas that need to be filled in just to give it that little bit more of a detail to it. But we are moving along And man, we only have 2 more weekends left until this tank is full of fish and 100% complete. So I'm excited to bring you the equipment deep dive next weekend. We're gonna get into adding all of the return pumps, or not the return pumps, the wave makers, and we're gonna be adding our entire Apex Pro system. So that is gonna be a big day. We're gonna get the entire system automated. We're gonna add some leak detection to it, and we're just gonna put 100% tech into this tank and basically just give it what it deserves. But thank you for watching us make the plant wall today and following along the build, and we'll catch you next weekend.